Happy Wednesday, it's Silly Girl Carmen, and I'm super happy to be rolling out our first episode of something new. Episode 14 is our first fitness and wellness episode. I was very grateful to interview two different amazing women, both working in the fitness industry. For this hour, you will get to see an interview with Lauren Williams, a yoga and meditation teacher based in Detroit, Michigan, as well as an interview with Sydney Benner, who is a fitness professional teaching high-energy workouts based in Los Angeles. Along with the interview, you can enjoy a hand-selected collection of music from each of these women. So kicking off the hour, I'll be interviewing Lauren Williams, followed by her song selections, and after we will talk to Sydney Benner with her favorite songs to follow. I hope you all enjoy this episode, and thank you again, Lauren and Sydney, for coming on Wonderful Radio. For this episode, we're introducing fitness and wellness to the platform, and I'm happy to be talking to Lauren Williams. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. I got to meet, how long have we known each other now? Maybe like 2-3 years?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, she invited me to one of her yoga classes maybe like 2 years ago, and that was, I loved it. You're a great teacher.
Thank you.
Yeah, it fits you really well, and I really enjoyed practicing with you. So if you're in Detroit, Michigan, maybe after these crazy times even, I really encourage you guys to work with her. She's a really great instructor and super into what she does, so it's dope.
Thank you.
So we're gonna jump into a few questions. How long have you been teaching yoga?
I've been teaching yoga for about 6 years.
Nice.
Now. So yeah, I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
Time's been passing by.
Yes. What brought you to yoga and then taking the path to become a teacher? How did that start?
So I was first introduced to yoga at the ice arena. I grew up in an ice arena, and we would have a different workout every day. So we would do things like Taebo, Pilates, you name it. And yoga was on Fridays. So every Friday, this lady would come in and she would teach us a yoga class, and then we would do different relaxation and guided meditations. But at the time, we just called it relaxation. I didn't realize what it was, but all I knew was, like, when I was 12, I would always tell my mom, I have to get to a relaxation class. I have to always take this class every Friday. And, she signed me up for it. So I did. And it just kind of became a part of that routine of being a young competitor. And when I went to college, I kind of fell off track with my fitness and yoga after, being in school and not really having skating anymore. But then I realized, I have to get back into this. And the recreation center at Western, where I went to school, they had a yoga class. They had 2 yoga classes a week. So I would actually, instead, I don't know, I didn't spend my money on things in college. I mean, there were yoga studios around. I guess I could have gone to, but I don't know. I didn't. And
I get it.
So I would schedule all of my college courses around whenever the yoga classes were at the rec center.
Nice.
I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, it was just kind of, I love yoga. I need it. And so then when I graduated from school, when I went to go live at home with my mom, and I couldn't find a job. And so I was just kind of like, all right, I can't just watch TV all day and, be on Indeed looking for a job, because that was kind of what my routine was. I would wake up, I would eat, watch TV, look for a job. And then I was like, I got to add something into my day. And so I started doing the on-demand videos, the yoga on-demand videos, and I would do like 2 videos a day. And then my mom ended up getting us like this membership to a workout place, and they had a really good yoga studio in there. So, but it was like out in West Bloomfield. So this particular space, it was mostly old people, but I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And so I would practice with them. And I somehow ended up trying the studio in Bloomfield Hills because one of the teachers there was someone I had known from ice skating, and I was working at the ice arena again in the pro shop, and they told me to go to the studio because there was a studio next door. So I went, and then I started practicing there. They were doing a teacher training, and I was just we were so yoga, I feel like 6 years ago was so different. And it could be, I mean, I know what it is, but at this point in life, everyone was very close. So yoga for us would be practicing in the studio for 2 or 3 hours and like talking. Everybody was always hugging each other, and we would go out to eat and like be at each other's houses. Like it was more of a family. And so since my family was going to be hanging out at teacher training, I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to, like, this is what we're doing. So, and I just felt called to it. And I remember texting my friend and telling her I'm feeling called to do this for some reason. And she was just like, go do it. So I did. Yeah.
Well, that's dope. Yeah, that's a good, like, gives us a good idea of like, yeah, how it was always there and you got to come back to it. And yeah, that makes sense. Like sometimes it's just like, I know this is what I'm into. I feel good about this. So I'm glad that you followed through with that because you're really good at it too.
Thank you.
What would you say are the main benefits or things that you love about being a teacher or just practicing yoga in general for yourself?
So I'll start with practicing yoga for myself. It helps me throughout the day. I have learned a great deal of coping mechanisms, whether that's through breathing exercises, knowing how to recalibrate negative thoughts in my mind, just developing a deeper sense of connection between my breath, my body, and my mind, being very aware of myself. So really knowing myself, knowing how I think, knowing how I react, and then being able to gain control over myself so that I can better control my reactions, knowing when to speak up, knowing when to be silent, knowing when to sit still, and knowing when I need to move more. That awareness is there for me. So I need it. It helps ease my nerves. When I was younger, I struggled with anger issues. So I would be at the ice arena, and I remember if I would mess up on anything, I'd be so angry, like the kicking the ice or like punching a wall. And like a lot of people at the rink were like that, but that doesn't mean that that's good. It was just kind of in the culture. And so I had to really educate myself about the root of the anger that I was dealing with. And my yoga practice has provided me with the space to sit in stillness, to really understand that. And so for me, I would say that yoga is, it helps me to regulate myself. It helps me to remain present, because it's easy to go off with your thoughts, to get trapped in the past, to find yourself on a loop that doesn't necessarily serve you. So my practice allows me to just gain a sense of clarity. It offers me peace. As far as teaching goes, I I feel like the gift of yogic transmission is something that's really cool to experience. And I feel like it sounds like really corny, but you're like, I just want to help people. But it is, yeah, you know, like when you've dealt with anxiety or anger or depression or any form of doubt, trauma, it's when you discover something that offers you peace, genuine peace, and you can feel it in your spirit, and you're seeing colors, and you literally feel a burden on your shoulders being relieved. You just want to tell as many people about it as you can. Like, come over here, look, like all you have to do is this, you know, and you can feel it. You can feel better, because it's easy to be, when we dig our graves, we get trapped in the dirt. But if, like, you know, you water your seeds, you can grow. It's not necessarily a bad thing to find yourself trapped in the dirt. It's what are you going to do to blossom, to grow, or you'll just stay in the dirt, I guess. And you know, and that would be what it is too. But yeah, I feel like, for example, today when I was teaching my class, I didn't even necessarily do the asana, the movement part. I was teaching, but just feeling that energy is like I'm still practicing. I'm always in my practice. So yeah, I like holding space for people. I like it's sort of magical to watch people come in one way, and you can sort of gauge their energy, you know, by, you know, whatever it is that you talk about, or just by feeling their presence, and then being able to tap into spirit. That I mean, because for me, I plan my classes. I'll have like I try to keep, when we were teaching the same way, like in real life, I would have a theme of whatever I was reading that week. And then I would have like a pose or something, and then I would alter it to suit the style of class that I was teaching, because I would teach a variety of styles. And but what I learned over the years that started to grow as I developed my gifts over time is that my intuition as a teacher is what students really need. It's easy to come in and not really pay attention to who's in the room and just teach what you had planned, which a lot of new teachers will do, which is great, because you need to get used to just being in the space. But as you grow, you learn that different people need different things. And if you really pay attention to them and tap in, you'll know where to guide them. You'll know what they need in their practice, or you'll maybe be able to like offer them modifications or variations, or, you know, and I like talking to people. I think it's been like cool to meet people in a way that I probably wouldn't have met them before if I weren't teaching, you know, sort of meeting people without all of the pretense. And people just want to feel better. Yeah. People coming in with their baggage and looking for a space to leave it. And by the end of the class, you just see, I remember this one guy came in, his whole face was red. His fingers were clenched, his shoulders were up, and just everything about him, he was like, I'm anxious. And I was like, I could see that. I'm happy you're here. And I'll never forget him, because I was like, whoa. And by the end of class, he walked out. He wasn't red anymore. His face was relaxed. His shoulders were calm. And I was just kind of like, that's what it's all about.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's very real. I appreciate you sharing that, because it's so relatable to know, like, and it's beautiful that you got to utilize it and like go through that process for yourself and know how much it transformed you with, you know, anxiety or depression or whatever it may be. And then, yeah, being able to be on that side where you're actually tapping in and like, you're like, okay, like I'm going to help these people and really seeing that progress. That's really dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. I think I have one more question for you. So outside of yoga and teaching, what are some other passions or hobbies you're expanding into or exploring, or maybe want to explore more?
So, well, I love ice skating, but I don't know where I can skate right now. All the rinks are closed. I was thinking that I might want to buy an outdoor ice arena and put it in my granny's lawn. She has so much space.
Hey, there you go.
That was a random idea I just had in the shower. But other than that, I have my podcast and I put meditations on my podcast. They're all guided meditations, and I make all the beats on my podcast, and I started doing that because I also tell stories on there. So I'll take some of the poems or what really my friend calls streams of consciousness. I don't know if they're I'm not really like, I stopped formatting my poems a long time ago, but I'll read those on my podcast, and I'll put a beat that I made on the track. And yeah, I feel like I've been in a weird place creatively as I'm trying to figure out how I should move forward as a yoga teacher with all of the yoga studios being closed. But prior to that, I had been making like a beat every day. And I started doing that because I realized how much money it costs to buy original, music from people, which is good. It should cost money. But I was like, okay, I'm on a budget and I'm an Aries. So I'm the type to just figure out how to do something on my own. So I think it would be cool to do more. My podcast is just kind of random, so it doesn't really, not random, there's intention and purpose behind it, but
right,
it's not like an album or anything. But it would be cool to make one. And I've been in the process of working on a book, and I'm finding that it's hard to work on more than one thing at once. Like, I'd rather do one project, then do another project, then do another, not this and this and this all at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel you. That's really cool. Yeah, I know I've seen some of the stuff you post on your Instagram. Like, you make really cool content, and yeah, I like that you incorporate your own writing and different styles of meditation. But I have to check out, and we'll definitely link that in here too, so people can check out your podcast as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, maybe you should show us that beautiful painting that you showed me earlier. Give us some color.
Oh, this painting?
Yeah, your new one.
Okay, hold on.
Yes, Lauren was showing me her beautiful painting. Yes. Oh, yes. Yep. Give us some inspiration here so we can all get some color in our life. Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for giving us a little bit more background about your practice and what you do. Is there anything else that you want to share for Wonderful Radio?
Well, I would just say, I hope everyone takes their time during this season. I want everyone to just give themselves a break. And if you're struggling to push forward, or if you're struggling for your next idea, it's okay to sit and wait for it to come. It doesn't make you lazy. it's okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Really.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Some steady flow backwards, never heard of after. Only you, wonderful, beautiful moonlight. Hold on till it is over. Wait until sunrise. Only you, wonderful, beautiful moonlight. Hold on till it is over. Wait until sunrise. My favorite girl.
brought levity to each other's lives. But there's a lot more to life than that, and I realized that in these last few years. And we just became very different people. And so we had nothing in common overnight. It's very strange, but that happens.
what's up? It's Silly Girl Carmen. I'm super excited to have Sydney here today to talk about her fitness journey and other things going on in her world. She's a fitness professional based in Los Angeles, and she's up to some really cool things. So we're going to get a chance to talk today. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too in this crazy time. Thank you for coming on here. Zoom has saved everybody's life, at least, to like connect in some way.
Zoom is our everything these days.
Right. So we're gonna jump right in. The first question I want to ask you is, how long have you been working in fitness, and how did that path come about for you?
Sure. So I have been working in fitness for over 10 years now. I started around the age of 24. And so almost 11 years, to be honest. And I always gravitated towards group fitness classes. So I grew up as a dancer. I started dancing at 4 and started teaching dance to kids by the time I was about 12. So I've been an instructor and a teacher for most of my life, which is so crazy to say. And I always felt that my kind of safe place, the place that I always felt kind of the most free and authentic, was when I was in a group fitness studio or when I was teaching groups of people. And so I got asked to do a bar training over 10 years ago. And that was my initial kind of segue into the fitness world. And from there on out, it's 11 years later, here I am.
Awesome. That's really cool. So that's awesome that it just kind of was naturally something you knew you loved, to be in that setting. So leading into that, I know the flight program, I was looking at your website, is one of your signature offerings. Can you tell us specifically about that program?
Sure. So flight is kind of goes hand in hand with what you do as a DJ, because you're so awesome. And I love dance music. I love house music. I love tropical house, EDM, you name it. It's just the genre that I gravitate most to. And it's the genre I feel like that makes me the most creative and makes me want to move. So I was at EDC. This was, oh my gosh, I want to say it was like over 7 years ago now.
Okay.
So I was at EDC in Las Vegas, and to be honest, didn't even know what I was getting into. For my birthday, one of my friends got me a ticket to it, and she's like, "You're gonna love it," and really didn't know anything about it prior.
Right.
And I showed up. I'm like, I love costumes. So I was like, there's costumes, there's amazing music. And all I did was dance for hours. And I thought to myself, there's definitely something here that hasn't been achieved in the fitness space. And when you're at music festivals or when you're dancing around, music that a DJ is playing that you're like, oh my God, you just want to move and groove. I don't think there's any feeling better. So I thought, oh, well, if I can kind of recreate that same like festival feeling or dance vibe that you guys all create in all these amazing festivals or places, there's something really special to that. So I basically I'm super visual. So I actually started like charting out what my ideal class would look like from like colors and feeling and music, and started playing with that idea. And then piloting the idea of what my program Flight would look like. And I'm like, well, I picture it being in a club, like utilizing lights and working with, awesome DJs and, incorporating artwork that can be like shown on the back behind all of us that people can kind of immerse themselves in. So I combined my two favorite modalities of movement, which are yoga and dance, and then obviously sculpting and cardio woven in there. But the two key components are like the yin and yang of yoga and dance. And I launched at Exchange, a nightclub here in downtown LA.
Okay.
And then created like an event series from there.
Nice.
I thought, wow, this is something that's so special that, it's more of a healthy way of looking at things without pushing it or having to vocalize it. It's just an inclusive, joyful, sense of community where everyone can feel a part of something and move in this really, sorry, it's my dog.
No worries.
I should have warned you. Just went off, but can move in this really amazing way. So
Yeah, that's super dope. Like, yeah, hearing about that, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like obviously love house and dance music. That sounds like an exciting experience. And it's so funny that you brought up EDC because I got to go to EDC once, and same as you, had no clue what to expect, but it was just like, wow, like the production, the costumes, the experience. I'm like, this is amazing. Like it was, so I could see how that brought a lot of really cool inspiration. And that's really dope. Just seeing how, yeah, you created, that's where it sparked your vision and that's what you created. So how is it now, obviously without being in person, there is still a program available and you're still creating, what you can online?
absolutely. It was the minute that lockdown happened, I was like, well, I'm so used to, I'm used to teaching so many classes a week. And to be honest, it's like I was running all over the city and it was for years. And my schedule was pretty hectic, if I'm being totally frank. So in many ways, this was such a beautiful moment in the midst of such a crazy moment, in our world
Yeah.
to kind of slow things down and set the tone for what can be and connect community, obviously virtually, which is really our only safe option right now. So like, Zoom has saved us, as we said at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I basically started initially just on Instagram, like doing an Instagram live and doing all of that. And I thought, well, I want to offer my classes in a way that feels a little bit more connected, where I can see my students. I think that that's so meaningful to me, as opposed to just going on live and not being able to find, like, I want to be able to see you. I want to connect with you and look at your form and ensure that, you're moving safely and you're moving in a way that feels really good. So I basically created a membership online, and I've been doing it since the beginning of all of this craziness.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, everybody's got to think smart, like, okay, what's next? Got to adjust. So that's good that you got it worked out. And definitely I'll leave your website and everything with the episode so everybody can check out your programs. So we're going to move on. I have two more questions for you. As someone who teaches fitness, you clearly never go short working out your body and everything. Do you feel like do you have to regulate, like getting downtime for yourself, or even on top of teaching, you still have your own workout regime that you're keeping up with?
That is a great question. I'm sorry, my dog is being so chatty in the back. So for
that's okay. We're gonna have to just make do. He's a part of it.
We've had some visitors at the door. Yes, that's a great question. I think I always try and dedicate. It doesn't need to be extreme because I'm obviously training clients and I'm teaching classes during the day, so I have to be mindful. I'm moving a lot, but I try and dedicate about 30 to like 40 minutes a day, for not every day, but I would say 5 to 6 times a week, because it's just a part of a routine for me that I know is going to make me a better human being. So I have to dedicate that time, just like a meditation or journaling. There's so many different things that I think can help us holistically and from like a, quote unquote self-care standpoint.
Yeah.
But this is a part of that kind of routine I dedicate to myself. So I make sure that I do my own workout that I feel like I need to work for the day. It's kind of intuitive movement. So if I feel like I need to work more lower body or get into a yoga flow or yoga sculpt, I just kind of listen into what I need and go from there.
Okay, got you. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm like, I always think like, oh, for trainers, people that are working in this, or even Pilates instructors, whatever it may be, like, yeah, it's like they're a burnout and using your own body to help people, but then also like, okay, well, I want to keep up with myself. So that's good to know that you're finding that space and just, as you said, listening to what you need.
Absolutely. And I feel like in going off of a burnout, there certainly is. I think when so many, fitness instructors can relate to this prior to lockdown, is like you are really running all over the place and your body does get worn out. You're like teaching this class and there's so much energy going into that moment. And then there's a pause. I kind of call it like, it's like a schizophrenic life where like you're in a studio teaching a big group and then you go back to your car and it's like your own like quiet peaceful time and you're having like a solo moment and then you go to your next thing and you're like giving
I could see that. Yeah, like just thinking about how fitness environments are like even just pumping up everybody's energy to be in that space and then it's like okay, it's over. I could see how you would feel that. That's interesting.
totally.
So our last question, outside of fitness, what are some other hobbies or passions you enjoy or are getting into? If you even have the time to feel like that.
That's a great question. I do feel like in general, I have more balance in my life now than ever before, which for that, I'm super, super thankful for. I would say, I mean, listen, I just got engaged, so that's super
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So the wedding planning, and it's looking like we're going to be able to have a wedding by the end of the next year.
Right.
Which is hopeful, and so I'm starting all of that. I also love to cook, so I've been able to like be in the kitchen more. Um, I love healthy, beautiful meals, so I love that. And then I love all things active, but I have been enjoying hiking a lot as well.
Nice. That's perfect. Yeah, it's great because in LA, you can always hike all year round. Out here, we're already getting snow, so it's like no. But I definitely enjoyed the hiking out there as well. That's awesome.
Oh,
So thank you, Sydney, so much for coming on. We hope to see more of what you're doing in the future.
thanks, Carmen. I love chatting with you.
Yes. Bye.
If you found perfection, wouldn't you protect it? And if you stumbled into heaven, why would you try to leave? Sometimes I get a little jealous. I'm just counting down my blessings. Oh, wanna keep you close forever. Keep you close to me.
I'm sorry if I got selfish, but I don't think I can share you, nah. I'm sorry if I got selfish, but so would you. You know it's true. I'm sorry if I got selfish, but I don't think I can share you, nah. I'm sorry if I got selfish, but so would you. You know it's true.
If you found perfection, wouldn't you protect it? And if you stumbled into heaven, why would you try to leave? Sometimes I get a little jealous, but I'm just counting on my blessings. Want to keep you close forever, keep you close to me.
I'm sorry if I got selfish, but I don't think I can share you, nah. I'm sorry if I got selfish, but so would you. You know it's true. I'm sorry if I got selfish, but I don't think I can share you, nah. I'm sorry if I got selfish, but so would you. You know it's true.
In the fading light, hearts collide. Shadows dance in the distance. Something just ain't right. I'm cold inside. Help me find what I'm missing. We're all scared to fly, still we try. Learn to be brave, see the other side. Won't you lead me there? Have no fear. Close your eyes, find paradise. Oh my, my, my. There's 1,000 miles between you and I. Oh my, my, my. Just 1,000 miles between me and paradise. Oh my, my, my. There's 1,000 miles between you and I. Oh my, my, my. Just 1,000 miles between me and paradise. Oh, paradise. Oh my, my, my. Oh, paradise. Oh my, my, my. Oh, paradise. Oh my, my, my. 1,000 miles between me and paradise. When the dark has gone, the morning's won. We're gonna feel something different. It will set you free if you just tell me every secret. I listen. We're all scared to fly, still we try. Learn to be brave, see the other side. Won't you lead me there? Have no fear. Close your eyes, find paradise. Paradise, paradise. Close your eyes, find paradise. Paradise, paradise. Close your eyes, find para. Oh my, my, my. There's 1,000 miles between you and I. Oh my, my, my. Just 1,000 miles between me and paradise. Oh my, my, my. Oh my, my, my. Oh my, my, my. 1,000 miles between me and paradise.
Sun's gleaming on the water, nothing but the after in our gaze. Curving to your neck, kissing all the spaces that are left to hold you deep. Just hold me. Smile bending to my face. You know how to move me out my way. And I call you on your shit, so you won't forget you're not that cool. And hold you deep. Just hold me. Till I find you. 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 And I will lose my way 100 times a day through the road. Fight like it's a war. I shall live in more, but love remains to hold you deep. Just hold me till I find.